And good day, everyone. Welcome to the Laidback Bike Report for the month of June. My name is Gary Solomon, and I am your monthly host here. We broadcast usually the first Sunday of the month. I hope that you're all watching either on Google Plus or YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We've opened that up to a couple more social media outfits this month. The video that we make today that you are watching live. Welcome to the Laidback Bike Report. If someone someone is watching something where the live report is, can they mute that, please? We broadcast usually the first Sunday. Hopefully it's not me. I hope that you're all watching.
That's you.
That was me. All right. Well, there's the first hiccup of the day. Sorry.
Broadcast so nice, we watched it twice.
Okay, so yes, hopefully watching on Google Plus, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or like me watching on all four and hearing myself 4 times. Anyways, you can watch anytime by searching for the Laidback Bike Report on YouTube. You'll be able to come back to it and watch it later on, and hopefully see any of our previous broadcasts as well. The format of the broadcast, we've broken it down into 5 sections. The presentation and interview of a special guest that we'll have on every month. We have a panel discussion with our illustrious panel, which I'll introduce in a minute, on some recumbent topics. We have the recumbent news of the month from the Recumbent News Desk. We'll have an open question and answer period from those of you out there commenting and asking questions. We'd love to bring those on and see what you have to say. And then the recumbent bike rider community, the Google Plus community that I am the owner of. We have some community business to take care of, some contests. We should have some fun today. So if you want to comment or ask a question, like I said, if you are on YouTube, Google Plus event page, or Twitter, just go ahead and make a comment. Ask a question right there. We will be able to track that comment, and we can put it up on the screen and talk about it, answer your question. If you're watching from YouTube, we unfortunately can't bring it onto the screen, but we are kind of trying to take a look at that. So if you can't make that comment on those other 3 places, go ahead and make it on YouTube or on Facebook, I'm sorry, and we'll see if we can't bring that to the panel's attention or our guest's attention. So let's get to the panel. My right-hand men, I like to call them. We have an extra panel member today, so let's start with, first of all, our newest panel member. That's Dennis Voorhees. Denny has been a recumbent rider for more than 10 years. He does ride a road bike, a diamond frame mostly now, but he does have a stable of 4 recumbents, 2 Bichettas, a Tour Easy, and a Cat Trike. Though he's not riding those mainly right now, he would, as he says, defend to the death the recumbents that he has in a bar fight, which is a video that I'd like to see, I think. Denny does ultra racing, a member of Team Novo Nordisk Type 2 cycling team. He is retired, and he recommends retirement highly. So I'm taking that to heart, Denny. So welcome to the Laidback Bike Report, Denny.
Hey, great to be here. I'm looking forward to this whole experience. A good bunch here. We're having fun just before the start, talking and getting to know each other, and this should be a good time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we have Travis Prebble, who is the founder and editor of Recumbent Journal and Recumbent TV. He works part-time for a Recumbent Bike Rider, RBR, a bike shop in State College, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Travis.
Thank you, and I would like to say that the quilt behind Gary, as you'll notice later, has some wonderful logos from a wonderful shop.
It does, doesn't it? That's right behind me. So yeah, those are various rides that I've done and places that I've been. So yeah, if you can see those. I've lit them up a little bit this time, so maybe you could see them a little better. Thanks, Travis. We also have with us Carl Kidd, who is the moderator of the Bent Society of Southern Florida community on Google+. Carl is also retired. He leads a twice-weekly ride on the scenic Atlantic coast on his Bichetta Corsa. Welcome, Carl.
Glad to be here, Gary. You can see some of my buddies back there. I think that ship was our ship finally came in the picture, so we were about ready. But looking forward to today. Should be fun.
We're all waiting for our ship to come in, Carl. I'm glad you're made it. So that's great. Okay, and we also have Lars Kamm, who resides in Salzgitter, Germany, our European representative back on the panel. He works for a major automotive manufacturer, rides an HP Velotechnik Street Machine GTE, and more importantly now his Strada Velomobile, which he got a couple months ago, and he calls the Intrepid. Lars blogs at www.streetmachinist.de, where he writes about his recumbent adventures on the road. Welcome, Lars.
Thanks for having me again.
Very welcome. Okay, let's move on to our guest of the month. Our guest is actually representing a very important company in the recumbent world, the TerraTrike company from Grand Rapids, Michigan. TerraTrike has a mission statement. They want to provide solutions for their customers by offering quality human-powered vehicles and accessories. And they also have a vision, and who couldn't use one of those, have the best products, the best service staff and company in the industry. So here to talk about that and the company is Jeff Chonk. Yonker, welcome, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We're excited to have you on and learn a little bit more about TerraTrike. So let's talk about you, if we can, for just a minute here. You are the Director of Marketing, as I said. You joined the company in 2007. I read in the bios that that's true. Yep. You have been featured on CNN, Apple.com, and Wall Street Journal. And you've also been a featured speaker nationwide on marketing, technology, and social media, and have won several awards, including a National Addy Award, I understand.
It's true. Yep, for Sea Ray Boats, actually.
Okay, so that is really nice to see. Let's talk about, first of all, your nickname. So Chonk is your nickname. I would like to, and everyone seems to know you as Chonk. I was kind of interested in knowing where that came from.
Well, I wish there was a better story, but it's a kind of a amalgamation of my last name. I used to play in a rock band, and there was another Jeff in the band, and so we had to distinguish ourselves. So I'm not even sure how it started, but that's what everybody called me, and it's kind of stuck.
And it's cool, so it's unique. So, can you tell us a little bit about what drew you to work for TerraTrike?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting story. So I spent probably a good 20-25 years in the advertising industry, and slowly kind of burnt out as the kind of the internet bubble and the advertising world started to burst. I was looking to do something a little bit more interesting. It just so happens that I was playing in a band with Jack Wiswell, who's one of the co-founders of TerraTrike. And we played in a band together for probably about 3 years, and he came to band practice one day, and he was venting a little bit about how, you know, his company was growing and they needed a new website and they needed some marketing and they were going to hire an agency, but he didn't know what to do. And I said, you know, Jack, that's what I do. He was like, I don't know what you do, you just play guitar. So him and Wayne actually took me out to lunch to pick my brain, and an hour lunch turned into a 3-hour job interview, and I was working there 2 weeks later. So it's been great. I've actually I use more of my marketing skills here than I ever did working in an agency with Fortune 50 companies. So it's just been great. And I live 2 miles away from the shop, and don't have to wear a tie anymore. So lots of advantages.
That's pretty nice, and a really unique experience for a marketer, I would think, to have something kind of a little bit different, not regular corporate America. Huh?
Right. Well, one of the things is I came into this industry knowing absolutely nothing about the bike industry, and so that was actually kind of a good thing because it kind of stripped away some of that bias and some of that bike information. So I was able to come in with a little bit of a fresh perspective, and I think it really helped.
Excellent. So, do you ride a trike?
I do. Not as much as I wish to, but we moved to our new shop about 3 years ago, and before that, our old shop, I was actually connected by a bike trail almost the entire way, so I would commute every day. Now where we're at, there is kind of a divided highway in between me and my house, and so I don't dare ride. So I don't get to ride every day, but I still go out, you know, on weekends with the family, and we do some organized rides here quite a bit. So
I was wondering what your favorite trike is.
I get asked that a lot. Well, you know, I'm kind of like a car salesman. I can take whatever is available. So I usually usually go for the high-end Sportster, the latest one we've got. But we've got some new prototype stuff, which I don't know if I can talk about or not, but I've got some new prototype stuff that we're working on that really excites me, and I've been riding a lot on that. We've been trying to get some serious miles on them for testing. So.
Well, a little later on, I'm going to ask you about the future a little bit. So if you can give us a couple of little breadcrumbs, whatever you can do. Let's get to that.
I'll start thinking about a response. Yes.
All righty, good. That's right. Make something up if you have to. That's fine. I was wondering if we could talk a little bit about the origins of TerraTrike. We talked a little bit about how you came on board, but I know it predates you a little bit, and so and there's the Wheel Whiz part of this too. So if you could tell us about the origins of the company, how Wheel Whiz fits into this.
It's Whiz Wheels.
Whiz Wheels, I'm sorry.
Yes. It actually started in 1996 with Jack Wiswell is his last name, so that's where the Whiz Wheels comes from. And his friend Wayne Ohm. The two of them grew up in a small town about 25 miles south of here called Hastings, and it's a kind of a small farm community. And they literally were friends since like kindergarten. Went through school all together, all the years. They ended up going to separate colleges. Jack went to Colorado. Wayne is a University of Michigan graduate. Kind of went away, started families, got jobs. Jack ended up coming back to Hastings because he was starting a family, wanted to be close to his parents, and the two of them met up at a Christmas party. And Jack pulled out a pen and drew this picture on a napkin and presented it to Wayne and said, "I got this great idea for this really funny-looking bike. We should start a business." And just so happens Wayne was at a point in his career where he was looking to do something different and has always had kind of an entrepreneurial streak in him. And so the two of them agreed to start this company, and they literally started it in their basement, welding frames in their garage, and they did that for almost 2 or 3 years before they moved out of the garage. And then there's a whole gradual, slowly selling a few more trikes, moving to a little bit bigger space, and then we hired on our current CEO, Mike, and hired him on as our purchasing person, and he was able to get the manufacturing out of the garage and moving it to more mainstream manufacturing. And at that point, they grew quite a bit, hired more people, moved from a small incubator to what was our last shop in Grand Rapids, grew some more, hired me in, grew some more, now we're here.
Okay. Now, reading through the history that I saw on the website, that talks a little bit about some high points, the start, and some of the really good things, and I know you guys have even won some local awards for entrepreneurship and that sort of thing, but there were some low points as well. So you talk to us a little bit about the high points and the low points? Sure.
I mean, I think one of the big ones, which predates me, was just with any small business is funding, and especially when it's something as fringe and as crazy as a three-wheeled tricycle. I mean, you go into a bank and try and get a loan, and you're telling the loan officers, I want to start a business and I want to make tricycles for adults. 95% of them threw them out of the office. So we ended up having a stretch where they had a hard time finding some financing, but then hooked up with kind of a local bank that really helped them, and they're still our bank even now, even though we've been solicited by a lot of big-time banks that want our business. We've stuck with them, so that's a low point.
That's the way to build some loyalty, isn't it? I
mean,
you help somebody out in a pinch, and then you're going to stick with those people.
Sure. So that was probably one, and I don't say it was a low point. It was a struggle, but I think it's a struggle that a lot of small businesses, when they're starting up, go through. Then over the years, we've had issues with supply chain, getting product in. We have a big event every year called Dealer Day, where we bring in all of our dealers and we kind of do a keynote where we kind of show new product and give them kind of a state of the business type of thing. In fact, Travis has been to a few of those too. And every year I get up in front of the entire group of our dealers and I say, we've ordered twice as much product as we did last year. We're not going to run out of trikes at all this year. And then what happens is spring comes along and our dealers sell, 200% more, and we grow 40%, and then here we are in April when we ran out of trikes again.
Right.
So we start scrambling, and the next year we figure out, why did that happen? We fix that, and then next year I get up there again. I go, hey, this was the problems. We took care of that. We're not going to run out of trikes again. And then something else happens. We get mentioned on Jimmy Fallon or something, and all of a sudden we grow another 60%, and
There are worse problems to have, I suppose.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And
problem, then let's say that it's going to be a one that's of not being able to produce because you have so much demand. So that's
yes.
really a pretty good thing. Let's transition a little bit over to the trikes themselves now, because I know a lot of people want to see what you have to say about this. So can you tell us a little bit about the evolution of the trike models at TerraTrike from the beginning, and like where you are today, and what are your best-selling models right now?
Well, when I first came here, we had I think it was like 18 different trikes. It was a real schizophrenic line, because what happened is we would, well, for example, like the Cruiser and the Tour, which were the Tour was actually the very first trike, and they changed the components on it a little bit, and then they named it something different. It was called the Cruiser, which it was still the same trike. It was just a different component level. Then they would have the Zoomer, and they would change that a little bit and maybe use an aluminum frame, and they called it the Race. So over 15 years, when I came aboard, there was a lot of models, and it was very confusing because a lot of them were the same. So about 4 years ago, we kind of wiped the slate clean and said we're just going to have 4 model lines. So right now, what we have is we have our Rover, our Rambler, our Tour, our Sportster, our new Traveler, which is our folding, and then the Tandem. So those are really the only trikes we have, and then in that we have different component levels you can get, kind of like a car. You can get the SL package or the touring package. And that's made it a little bit easier, because now when a customer comes in, you can very quickly assess what trike is the best for them. And then at that point, once they figure that out, it's all just accessories, components, and maybe even paint jobs. So, but we started out with, like I said, about 18 different trikes. Now we're down to 5. The Rover, obviously, has been our biggest seller, kind of changed the trike industry when it came out. It's still, if you were to look at numbers over time, it still has been the trike that we've sold the most of. But our Rambler, which we came out with a couple years after the Rover, in a response to those people that wanted something with more gears and a little bit more stylish frame, that uses round frame, that one is actually probably going to supersede the Rover this year in sales. It's actually been very popular. It's an easy sell for our dealers to move people from a Rover up to a Rambler because of the components and the benefits of that. So that's been our biggest growing trike. Our Tour is kind of been a steady seller, even though it sits a little bit lower. It still appeals to a certain crowd, so we still sell quite a few of those. I can tell you that is actually going through a complete overhaul this year, and we'll be debuting that probably end of the year, different frame style on that. So that is getting a big change. Our Sportster as well is getting some changes on that too. That's our high-end aluminum, kind of our sports car type of one. And we're actually going to be coming out with, next year is our 20th anniversary? Yeah, 20th anniversary. So we're going to be coming out with a 20th anniversary model of that too, which is going to be all blinged out with everything. And then 2 years ago, we released our Traveler, which actually made it to the market about a year ago, and that's been selling like crazy. We can't keep them in stock. We keep ordering them in, and they fly out instantly. So that one's been a pretty big model for us. And then, of course, we've got our Tandem Pro, which is our high-end tandem, which that one also we have troubles keeping in stock because it's just such a great trike.
Mm-hmm. Good. So with all those models to start out with, and then kind of narrowing it down to things that seem to make sense, I know that you take into account your customers' feedback on all this. I was wondering what the process is for that. You do have incredibly loyal, from what I've seen and read, very loyal customers who really are involved in communicating with you. So what's the process for listening to those customers, and how does that implement itself on the design of those bikes?
Good question. we've always had a storefront in the shop, and we've kind of considered ourselves kind of a destination shop for the Midwest. So we've always sold them, and we've always gotten that direct response from the customers coming in. And in fact, the Rover is a direct response from hearing those customers coming in and saying, "Oh, I'm having a hard time getting down into this low seat," or you know, "This is a little bit out of my price range." So we kept hearing that over and over and over again, and so that was what came, or that's how the Rover came about. Even today, we still listen to that, and a lot of our accessories have come out from that. Some of our special needs have come from direct responses from customers, and even Travis has helped us on some of those too. You know, we need that to grow, and without having that direct response, I think sometimes manufacturers kind of get caught in these bubbles, and they don't realize what the customer really wants.
And that's what it's all about. So you mentioned your retail sales floor and the changes there, and I guess a lot of people want to know exactly what the situation is with that. I know you closed that. Can you tell us a little bit of background on what the deal was with the retail store that you had, why it was closed, and
Sure.
what your stance is on that now?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, because I still get questions too. It's really simple. It was just a business decision. About a year and a half ago, we had a strategic meeting, and we were looking at the numbers, and we realized that we had kind of met this tilting point where it made more sense for us to take that local business that we were doing and move it to a dealer, so that we can concentrate on more of our core business and our dealers. And it always had to make sense financially for us to do it, because we're taking a big chunk of income and moving that away. So we did a interview with all the bike shops in West Michigan, and we partnered with one of the biggest shops here in town. They've got I think 4 shops. They're a very family-oriented store. They got involved, and now they're doing all of our retail stuff. The nice thing is they're actually only about half a mile down the street. They're one store, so that's nice, and it's really kind of focused our attention now more to the core business. And you know, we still let people come in. We have a lot of people that travel and want to see the shop, and they're always welcome to come in. If they want to come in and just get a tour or hang out, we're more than welcome to do that. But we're actually not physically selling anything here. We still do some builds because we're still selling stuff online. And we'll still do some repairs if need be, but we're trying to move that off so we can, like I said, focus on more of our dealers.
Yeah, I was going to say that probably makes you very popular with the dealers, I think, to know that if you focus in on the manufacturing aspect and let them go ahead and retail those things for people. So
yeah, and the other thing is, we're not. I think people think that we're this huge company. We've only got right now 14 employees, and so to do what we do, from a manufacturing standpoint, and then also have a retail, it was pretty taxing, especially in the summertime when, everybody wants to hang out with their families and go have fun, and we had to have, Saturdays open, we had to have a couple of weekday nights open, and with 14 people, it's tough to do, and nobody wanted to do it. So, I mean, there was that part of it too that was...
Those are 2 very different businesses, aren't they?
Yeah, it really was. And there was also issues where we would have issues with the dealers, because we were also kind of our own dealer. We would have stock, well, then a dealer would say, have you got this trike in stock? And we say, no, we're all sold out. But then our storefront actually had some, and so it was kind of these blurred lines between, are we a dealer, are we a manufacturer? So now it's nice, we have got that line kind of separated.
All right, I think that clears that up pretty well. All right, you mentioned a little bit earlier a celebrity that rides a trike, and I've read a bit about some of the celebrity customers that you've had and some of the things going on. I was really interested in hearing some stories you might have about some of the famous people that have purchased TerraTrikes, and what they've told you about what they've done, or what any interactions that you've had with them.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think the big one is, one of the first ones we got was Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller, the magician. He actually ordered the very first Tandem Pro we had, and he had some very specific color specifications he wanted for it, so he ordered it at pink. And if you want to know what color pink exactly, you'll have to ask him. But he got that. He still rides that. I still get reports from people in Las Vegas that say, "Yeah, I saw Penn riding his pink trike, through the desert." So
that must be quite a sight. He's a big guy, right? So I mean,
well, actually, he's not as big as he used to be. I don't know if you've seen it. He's lost like almost 200 pounds.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Was the tandem trike ever to be used in his show? Has it ever been used in his show that you know of?
No, I don't think so. He got it.
Tandem's not really involved on the other part of the bike, then, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So it's mostly just him and I think his family. He just wanted to take his kids out on it, and but yeah, he still rides it. In fact, he was just interviewed in People magazine about his weight loss, and he mentioned something about how he still uses his tandem for exercise through the desert. So I mean, he's one. Jimmy Messina from Logs in Messina, he has one. Boy.
And appearances, you had some appearances or mentions on show. You said something about Jimmy Fallon and.
Yeah. So we had a opportunity where Jimmy Fallon wanted to. I guess he does this thing with some of his guests where he does these races in the studio. This is before he was on Late Night. This is still his show. And so yeah, he had Queen Latifah on, and they raced a couple rovers through the studio, and that was really kind of fun. And we saw a huge spike in hits of our website and sales for that too.
Everybody wants to know about where you get those crazy bikes, and then you see the spike. That's gotta be fun.
Again, we've all talked about it. Everything is the biggest obstacle I think the recumbent industry has right now is awareness, and the more we can get these things out in front of people, because they're a visual product. You can't, you can put an ad in a newspaper, but it just doesn't do the same as seeing somebody riding it.
Somebody riding,
get them out there, the better.
Yep. Very good. Okay, I guess my next question has to do with, we were talking briefly, you mentioned about what might be coming up, what you might or might not be able to mention. I want to talk a little bit about future developments. What is coming up for TerraTrike here in the next year or so? What can you tell us that reveal to us at this time that maybe no one knows about yet?
Well, I can tell you that we are constantly innovating. We've got a two-man R&D department that is constantly working on something. And in fact, over the last year, they've kind of taken me out of a lot of that because I tend to, say things I'm not supposed to. So
that's why we have you on.
Yeah, right. I'm on kind of a need-to-know basis. So, but I know that we are doing some revamping of some of the current lines. Nothing drastic, but just some more refinement of the models, and we've got a few other products that are coming that I can't really talk about a whole lot, but
how about a hint, something? Let's keep up with the loose cannon.
Yeah, in fact, I can probably show you a little bit on one, but we're working on some electric assist type things too.
Yeah, okay.
So I know that's popular right now, so we've got that coming, and again, more accessories and. In fact, I've got a thing down. We've talked about it, so I can release it. But our Traveler, we've got a hard shell case for that just came in last week. I can show you that in a little while. That will be probably on the market here in October. That's is a fully shippable, fully airline checkable, very heavy duty case. So things like that we're working on.
Okay. All right, and kind of finish up the interview part of the thing here. Let me just maybe get a little philosophical here. If you could tell me what you think about the future of the trike market in general. So, like the next 4 or 5 years, where do you see the trike market going in the next few years?
I think there's the sky's the limit really. It's more about building awareness at this point. There's just so many, and we struggle with this all the time. There's so much low-hanging fruit, whether it be special needs or rehabilitation or the wounded warriors. I mean, there's so many different things that recumbents are perfect for, and there's not enough people and not enough energy to grow all these. So I think over the next few years you're going to see everybody's market share growing a little bit, and as awareness grows, I think we're all going to be prosperous in this. I keep saying we're kind of in this golden age of recumbents right now. We've got the best manufacturers, we've got great products, the pricing's in line, you've got all these accessories. Now all we need is more people.
Right, the recognition and people to see the trikes, like you said a little bit earlier. So that's super. All right, thanks for that look into the future there. Now we're gonna have Jeff take us around the TerraTrike facility and show us a little bit. But I wanted to give the panel a chance. I wasn't sure if maybe you guys had a question or two. I don't want to take too much time, but I'd like to give you all a shot too. So. Any of you guys unmute yourself, and if you have a question, let's go ahead and shout it out there and see if Jeff can handle it for you.
Well, one thing, I live down here in South Florida in the land of the retirees, and I'm just wondering, you mentioned the electric assist, but also putting the trike higher. I know the TerraTrike, some of them are, they're higher. The seniors have difficulty getting down on the low slung, and what are you doing, or how do you handle that for us retirees down here in the Sunshine State?
Well, that's why the Rover was as popular as it was when it came out. It actually sits as high as a folding chair, the seat. And so usually when I'm showing that to somebody that has some issues with getting in and out of a trike, I say, well, if you can get in and out of this chair, you can get in and out of the trike. So that's been a huge thing. Our Rambler has the same size, same height seat, and our Sportster also has a seat that's almost as high as that as well. The trick to that is to provide the height, but not provide the top tippiness of a trike. So we've had to adjust the frame a little bit, the position, widen the tracks a little bit to make it more stable. But it's still pretty much as stable as our low slung one, the Tour. So. And we've also come out with another product last year too, which is an assist knob bar that kind of gets mounted right in the frame between your legs. So even for people that even have a hard time getting in and out of the Rover, they've got this kind of handle that they can use to kind of assist and get up out of the trike.
Yeah, because I think it would be huge down here, because we live in the land of the retirees.
Oh yeah, I know.
All right, who else? Thank you, Carl. Anybody else have any questions for Jeff?
Not a question so much, but
yeah,
just
right, sure.
About, must be a year ago now, Jeff was sort of instrumental in helping me get set up on a Rover tandem for use with my son Gareth, who Gary has now said could come on the webcast at some point in the future, so I'm sure he'd be thrilled to come on.
Don't make me regret that, please.
We'll have to broadcast from our Rover tandem. But a little bit more to what Jeff was saying about not targeting, but accommodating special needs. The Rover is such an incredible platform for that. You can bolt just about anything you want to it. It's been a real boon for us. We used to have a Hazapino, but Gareth wanted to get a little lower to the ground. And it's really been fantastic. And Jeff, I know I still owe you a review for that Rover tandem, and it is still coming. We just need more time on it.
No, that's fine. Actually, I'd love to have a review from Gareth on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that may just be the opportunity we're looking for here, guys. Have Gareth on here and do a little review for us. We'll see if you can get them set up, Travis. We'll see what we can do. That would be awesome.
All right.
All right. Anything else, guys? Okay. Jeff, you think you're ready to do a little tour here?
Yeah. Let me take my earphones out and hook my phone up. Give me a second.
And we will be happy to go along. I will be monitoring as we go here. And folks, let me take a chance this moment to let you know that we are still looking to hear your comments and questions as well. So on Google Plus event page or YouTube or on Twitter, if you go ahead and ask a question or comment there, we'll go ahead and present that to Jeff. If you have questions for him or any of the panel members for later on, we'll have an open question and answer period too. And Jeff, don't forget to unmute your phone.
Okay.
And
hear me on the phone?
I think we're just hearing you on the desktop.
How about that now?
Yeah, now we got you. And
all right.
Josh, if you can mute his desktop for him too, maybe. Here we go. Go ahead and describe where you are and everything. We'll go from there, Jeff.
All right. So this is outside of my office, and this is kind of a looking down onto what was our showroom, which is actually now kind of a secondary warehouse because we're moving so much product through the shop right now that we don't have room in our warehouse. So we've got some stuff moved in here. We also have some of our point of sale stuff, which I'll get downstairs. I'll show you what we're working on for that. Upstairs here is our loft. We have more offices down here. This is kind of marketing land. This is my assistant, my office. And then we have our own in-house photography studio where we shoot all of our photos for catalogs and do videos and product videos in here, which has been really nice to have this. In the past at our old spot, we actually had to do it in the warehouse, and we'd have to put a sheet up and shoot everything really quick so we could get it out of the way so they could continue packaging stuff up. So now we have this, and we can do it all in-house, which is really nice. Here's kind of a bird's eye view of our warehouse.
Oh, an aerial shot. That's great.
Yeah. So right now we are, stocked pretty good. We've got, I think, 2 more containers coming in this week. Right now, this time of year, we're moving about a container every couple weeks here. So it's kind of product in, product out. But we need storage, and we're running out of it.
This looks like Recumbent Rider's Paradise.
We also have an indoor track here, which you can see, which comes in handy in Michigan for probably about 8 months of the year where we can't ride outside. So there's that. We also have our skateboards, which everybody uses to get around the shop in.
A little less bulky than the trikes, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit quicker. This is our R&D area here. So this is an experiment, and then when something is completely finished, we'll take it and send it to either Taiwan or our local producers here to manufacture. And we're actually working with about 5 or 6 different shops in the U.S. In fact, we've got 2 of them here in Michigan, right down the road from us, that are doing some of the manufacturing for our accessories and the Sportster as well. And we got a welding booth. This is the area they try and keep me out of because I can see things and post it when I'm not supposed to. This is again more of our warehouse. These are actually our kits. So this is how a trike comes. When we ship it to a dealer, it comes in a box like this, and they build it up. The trikes come with a lot of the components pre-installed, so brakes, shifters, a lot of that is already pre-installed. So putting a trike together is not a huge, a lot of time to do it. In fact, I think we do it in about 15 minutes. Most of our dealers are probably about 30 to 40 minutes to put a trike together. All right. This is shipping and receiving in here, and small parts. This is our car, and I'm not sure if a lot of people know that we still do sell online, and we do that because there's still a lot of places in the U.S. that don't have dealers, and so whereas we always try and send people to a dealer, if somebody in the middle of Wyoming, where we don't have a dealer for hundreds of miles wants a trike, they can still order it from us. And when they do that, we actually ship it to them fully assembled. And so literally it shows up on their porch. All they have to do is pump up the tires and they're ready to roll. And they actually get shipped in these boxes. I don't know if you can see how big these boxes are, but they're literally the size of like a washing machine or a refrigerator. And it's nice because, like I said, literally it's fully assembled. They don't have to do anything. They just pump up the tires. But we also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So they order the trike, they get it, they don't like it, they can literally just put it back in the box and call us, and we have UPS come and pick it back up and ship it out, and they don't pay a cent, not even for shipping either.
I bet that doesn't happen too often.
It doesn't. In fact, last year we determined it happened 3 times. And one time was a person that actually had lost his job and said, I just can't afford it, I got to send it back. The other 2 times were both customers that got it and said, you know what, I think I want to go to the next level up. Can I return it and get the Sportster? So they were actually upsells. This is our break room. not too exciting, but I just want to show. I've got these pictures of the staff. We take a kind of a company retreat every year, and we go out west and go hiking. And so these are pictures of us, hiking in some slot canyons in Utah and Nevada.
Do you guys take a quick drop in to Utah Trikes while you're out there?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Conference room. And then this is kind of getting into dealer sales. We have our dealer sales department, which right now we have 3 in here, and we're actually looking for a new salesperson. So if anybody's interested in working at TerraTrike, if you go to our website, we have a application there for a salesperson.
An opportunity to work in Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Yes, which if you have never been to Grand Rapids, is a pretty darn cool city.
Some nice trails there. I have been there and ridden some of the trails you guys
Right.
have there. And in fact, I saw, I hope this isn't something that Travis is going to tell us on the news, but I happened to notice there was a little news article about Michigan having actually the most trails, the most miles of trails, I think, in the country in terms of rail trails.
Wow. I knew we were getting close. I didn't know we had made that. So.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, I think, has the most trails, but I think you guys have the most miles. Are you there?
I think more importantly, for people that they're considering. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, I'm saying we're also voted the #1 microbeer state in our city in the world. We have more microbrews, and our microbreweries, we have I think 3 of the top 5 in the world here in Grand Rapids. So.
Not that you're condoning adding a beer holder accessory to your trikes. Is that
exactly.
Right? Okay.
Here's that case that for the Traveler I was talking about. You can see it's pretty heavy duty. Still working on pricing on it, but it's a full road case. It actually has wheels down on the bottom, so you can kind of roll it. We've had a lot of people that have asked for something that they can ship across the country or ship overseas, and without putting it in a cardboard box. So I don't think we're going to sell a whole lot of these, but for the people that need them, this is going to be really nice.
Would be nice.
So this is kind of our what was our retail. Like I said, now it's just kind of extra storage. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do with it. One of the things that we had is these giant walls here were kind of the 3 steps on how to choose your trike. We used to have trikes up on the wall, and you pick the frame that you want, and then pick your accessories and pick your components. Now that we're not doing retail, we're thinking about turning this into actually kind of a small museum. So we've been trying to buy back some old trikes. In fact, we found one that I think was probably one of the first 50 or 60 trikes that we ever made. We've got one that's still out there, and so we're going to buy that one back and kind of put together just like a little museum with a timeline of all our trikes.
So when people come to visit you and see your facility, they'll be able to have a little museum to check out the first ones that you did. That's a nice idea.
Exactly. So this is also some of our new point-of-sale stuff that we're working on. We rolled out a new program with our dealers last dealer day, so last October, and we're coming out with what we're calling the TerraTrike Lifestyle Store, which is going to be kind of a store within a store. And so any dealer that wants to have a lifestyle store, there's some buy-in with trike requirement and accessory requirements, but once they're that, they kind of get all of this point-of-sale stuff. And so we've got window clings and banners and hanging signs and fixture toppers and all kinds of floor signs. So we're getting that together. I think our first lifestyle store is going to be down at Suncoast in Florida. Is our dealer in Florida. They're opening a new store by the Villages, and I think he's going to be probably our first lifestyle store. But then once that happens, we've got a bunch of them kind of in line to come online. More flooring. Oh, this is kind of funny. So we actually have a tie rack, and we actually have a corporate policy. It's actually written into our corporate bylaws that you're not allowed to wear a tie in TerraTrike. And so if you come in with a tie, the guys behind the counter immediately tell you to take it off, or they pull the scissors out. And it's kind of funny because we'll have bankers and businessmen come in with ties, and we're like, you got to take your tie off, dude. and they'll laugh and we're like, no,
it's a health issue, isn't it, Jeff? I mean,
yeah.
It's a safety issue. You don't want them getting that tire wrapped up around a wheel if they're going to do a little test ride. That can be dangerous.
But it's funny, sometimes these guys will get mad at us because we're telling them to take their tie off, and it's like, I'm just trying to make you more comfortable, guy, And then this is probably the piece that everybody wants to see. This is the actual napkin that I talked about that Jack drew the trike on. So there it is right there. That's the one he drew. That's kind of the genesis of TerraTrike right there.
An inspiration for a new entrepreneur anywhere, I suppose. Huh?
That's right. Yeah.
Very nice.
Let's see. This is our old retail kind of area. Now it's all customer service. So if you call in to TerraTrike, this is where all the phone calls come in. And then this is kind of our production area here where, again, if you're buying a trike online or have a repair or something, this is where it all kind of gets built up here. You can see they've got what's the making of a tandem, it looks like here they're working on. And then we've got trikes hanging up that they were also working on here too. So that's about it.
Very nice. Thank you so much for taking us around there, Jeff. So
you're very, very welcome.
All right, we're gonna move along to get some news, recumbent news. I wanted to thank Jeff. Jeff, you are welcome to stay with us if you like the rest of the broadcast.
I will. I'll move up to my desk.
Yeah, come on back to the desk and unmute yourself up there, and you can kind of sit down and join in. But I really appreciate you taking the time to answer our questions and take us around TerraTrike. So we really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to the Laidback News Desk now. We have Travis ready and raring to go here. Tell us about what the latest news is. Travis, take it away, will you? Travis, I can't hear you. Or somebody, you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
There you go.
Didn't want to belch over Jeff. So anyway, we're going to start off today with not necessarily hard news you can use, but good news anyway. So there's a group of students from Calvin College in Michigan. I'm sure Jeff is aware of these students. They have created what is called the TerraTrike, a therapeutic hand and foot cycle designed for riders with MS, spinal cord injuries, and total paraplegia. TerraTrike did have a hand in this project. I believe that TerraTrike provided not only guidance but also some parts assistance, according to the design doc. I don't know, Jeff, if you're back at your desk, if you have any recollection of this project.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, actually, no, I didn't. But again, that's one of those things that I think R&D and production were working on and didn't bother telling me. So no.
No problem.
But we do work with. That's through our like you said, the local college here, and we actually work with them every year. They come with us with a couple projects, so it doesn't surprise me because we worked with them in the past.
Sure. So the TerraTrike that they developed is built around a Shimano Nexus 7. Like I said, it works both upper and lower body. Turning the hand cranks actually turns the foot pedals as well, so that people who have weak or non-functioning legs still get some therapeutic advantage from using the hand cranks. The team's report estimates that a final retail version of this would be around $3,000. Which, if you've ever been in the therapeutic bike market, you realize is actually pretty cheap. So there's no telling whether or not this would ever go to commercial production. I have a soft spot for college projects, so I thought I'd throw this into the news this month. Moving on. If you're not aware, the movie The Ataxian actually premiered yesterday in Hollywood, California. The Ataxian is the story of Kyle Bryant, who suffers from Friedreich's ataxia and is their national spokesperson for Friedreich's ataxia. He's sponsored by TerraTrike and is an incredibly nice guy. I've met him on several occasions. The movie is essentially about his 2010 Race Across America run and goes into not only everything that he has encountered there, but everything that he encounters on a daily basis with Friedreich's ataxia. So far, there haven't been any other showings scheduled, but they are looking for an international distributor and are hoping to get other showings up and running, as well as doing some home distribution on things like On Demand.
One more time on the name of that movie, Travis?
The movie is The Ataxian, and if you want more information about it, you can visit theataxianmovie.com. Ataxian, for those who are not aware of the spelling, is A-T-A-X-I-A-N. Also, if you are interested in meeting Kyle Bryant, you can show up at the 4th Annual Ride Ataxia Chicago Cycling Fundraiser on Sunday, July 19th in Chicago. So you can certainly look that up online and get tickets to be part of that ride. In the last, I believe, 8 years, Kyle has had a hand in raising $3 million for Friedrich's ataxia research.
Wow.
And while you're in the Chicago area, you should probably be aware of the Chicagoland Unconventional Bicycle Expo. My apologies if this was mentioned on the April and May Laidback report, as I sort of missed both of those. But it appears that we have a stateside Spetsy brewing. The inaugural Chicagoland Unconventional Bicycle Expo, or CUBE for short, is scheduled for October 2nd through the 4th at the Tinley Park Convention Center in Tinley Park, Illinois. Like Spetsy, CUBE will feature the newest and unconventional bikes, trikes, gear, accessories, and collectibles. The show is open to the public all 3 days with the exception of a 4-hour industry-only block the first morning. And for more information, you can visit cube-expo.com.
And if I might jump in just a second here, Travis, actually I've been in contact with one of the producers of CUBE, Julie Keating, has contacted me and would like to come on the Laidback Bike Report before CUBE and talk a little bit about what she's got going and what's going to be going on there. So I think maybe September. I'll talk about what we have booked up until then. But so if you're interested in more about CUBE, I think we will have more information as Julie comes on, and probably we'll be able to discuss what's going to be happening there in Chicago at the end of September. So thanks for bringing that up. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, it's really actually very interesting development. Recumbent CycleCon sort of was born out of discussions of how can we make a Spetsy in the U.S. There were discussions that largely happened at Interbike during the Recumbent dealer dinners, at Recumbent industry dinners, I should say. So Recumbent CycleCon was a great first step, and it's very well established now, and it's really has taken off. So it's interesting to see that now there's sort of a second show that's coming in that's going to have recumbents in its ranks. Now it sounds like CUBE is going to be much more like Spetsy in that everything sort of under the weird bike umbrella is going to be featured. So it might be a nice combination of cargo bikes, recumbents, and just about everything else you can think of. So it ought to be interesting, if nothing else, probably a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they're both in relatively close proximity, Chicago and Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. They're also even though the CUBE sounds like it is going to be more specialty, there's certainly a fair amount of overlap between those two, you would expect. So I'll be interested, and they're, I think, a week apart, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of when they're going to be. So it'll be interesting to see how the people who want to exhibit at those shows divvy themselves up, if they're going to do both shows, I guess, one week after another, or decide to do one or the other. So and also, as luck would have it for us, we the CycleCon, which is put on by Recumbent and Tandem Riders magazine. That's Charles Coyne, who runs that publishing agency and puts on CycleCon. And Charles also has contacted me and wants to be on it. We have him scheduled for August 2nd. So my guess is we'll have the CycleCon talk in August, and then we'll have the CUBE talk in September, and then late September we're going to have an opportunity to maybe go to both of those shows. So we're all real excited about seeing this. I'm hopefully going to be able to attend both of those. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but should be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can make CUBE. I'm definitely going to Recumbent CycleCon, but I will be working there this time, actually in the performer booth. So it's not going to be my usual running around with a camera and interviewing people kind of thing. I'm actually going to have to wear a shirt with a logo on it and all kinds of weird stuff.
Well then, yeah, because I hope to be able to run around with a camera and interview people. So I'll jump in there and maybe get some help from some of the panelists and some other people. Maybe we can bring some of that stuff to everyone, CycleCon, and maybe CUBE as well. And maybe we'll interview you there, Travis, as well, with your special T-shirt. So
yeah, that'll be fun.
Great. Sounds great. And is that it for the news then this month?
One last story, real quick.
Take it away.
For those who had followed Purple Sky Flags in the past, Purple Sky Flags has been purchased by TerraTrike. They were a very popular flag producer in the past couple of years, but due to some supplier and manufacturing partner issues, they had to bring everything to a halt. So it wasn't long before people were pretty much seeking out whatever remaining inventory was out in the wild. But TerraTrike is now on board. They're going to be bringing the manufacturing of that to the Portland area, and we'll be carrying those designs forward. And they're not quite ready for sale yet. They are still getting all the equipment that they need to bring that up to speed. But you can look forward to TerraTrike carrying the Purple Sky Flags soon.
That's it. So thank you so much, Travis, for all that news from the Laidback News Desk, ladies and gentlemen. So, all right, we're going to kind of wrap things up here as we're getting close to our hour. I try to keep this to an hour and not get too much over that. The Google Plus bike rider community, we have a monthly contest where we go over the posts in 3 different departments, and we put a poll out and we have people vote to see what the best post was. So, and we announce the winners then on the Laidback Bike Report. So let's do that right now. We have first of all the nominees for the Picture of the Month on the website. We have Oliver Brandmuller for his entire series of his tour from France and Italy. Oliver and a friend took their recumbent bikes from Germany, I believe, where he lives, and went through France and Italy and just loaded up with all kinds of pictures and stories of his trip, which were fascinating. So that was Oliver. We had John Rosignol. We had the Picture of the Month was the visit with the South Florida Bent Society, as John was visiting down there in Florida from his usual home right here in central Ohio. So that was a nice pick. Charles Zulke, the new Bichetta First Bent picture. We had Thomas Lawrence, took a picture, and it was titled Biking in Detroit. It was a lot of fun, an interesting one. And Bob Brown III did a picture with some fairings on bikes he called Bubble Boy. So the poll came out with Oliver Brandmuller winning the Picture of the Month, so congratulations, Oliver. The Video of the Month is the second category. We had John Rosignol again. Cruising the Neighborhood was his video. Tom Lawrence, Why I Have a Full Suspension Bent. Really cool little short video. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you take a look at it, where he comes down on a suspension bike down a set of stairs. Not something that I would ordinarily recommend, but it made for some great video. Franz Hein, his video was Valerie's First Ride with My Trike. We had Michael Kube on the Ventoux short. I think Michael was on the ride with Oliver, and they went up Ventoux. And Marco Roper's Terrific Weather Today was the video that he posted. So the poll came up with Tom Lawrence, Why I Have a Full Suspension Bet, as the winner, so congratulations, Tom. And lastly, the Discussion of the Month post. Christian Blessing, Cruise Bike Conversion and Riding Life in Thailand. Always enjoy Christian's posts from Thailand. George Sullivan posted Backward Steering Bike. Really interesting video that I saw even before George posted that. I recommend you guys take a look at that one too. Curtis Wenzel posted Recumbent Bikes and Wheelchairs. And Bill Barrere, Crash, Bang, and Boom was the title to the discussion we had there. The winner by the poll for the Discussion of the Month was Curtis Wenzel's Recumbent Bikes and Wheelchairs. So congratulations to you, Curtis. So just to finish up now, we have let you know we have 587 people on the community, so thank you all the latest people who have joined up. So we hope you'll keep contributing and filling out the community locator map so we let the rest of the community know where you are in case others want to ride with you. Talking about future Laidback Bike reports, we'll be on, continue to be on the first Sunday of the month. The next Laidback Bike report will be July 5th, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Our guest will be John and Jackie Schlitter from Vite Bikes. I think that's how you pronounce that. So we're excited to have. What is it, Vite?
Vite. Yep.
Vite Bikes. Thanks. I always wondered about that. Thanks, Travis. So it'll be Vite Bikes. So a really illustrious couple in the recumbent world. So we're real excited to be able to spend some time with them and hear what they have to say. I mentioned earlier, August 2nd, we'll have Charles Coyne from the Recumbent and Tandem Riders magazine, who hosts the CycleCon. So we'll hear all about what the CycleCon's going to be this year. So let's wrap it up. If you guys are interested in becoming a panelist or a guest or know someone who is, please contact me. We'd be happy to talk to you about that. I want to thank all my panelists today for appearing here and helping us out with contributions, both vocal and behind the scenes, doing an excellent job. Carl, Denny, Lars, Travis, wonderful job, all of you guys. I really appreciate it. And one more time to Chonk, Jeff Yonker at TerraTrike, for taking the time to let us know a little bit more about TerraTrike. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
So that'll be it then. So we thank you all for joining us. We hope you'll be back with us next month. So have a good month riding. We'll see you next month. Thanks. Bye-bye.